Hi.
And while she's doing the share thing,
I'm doing the share thing too.
we have a guest, as you can see. Levi is back to give us a recap of Pride.
We didn't have enough time to finish our topics last time, so now it's fun. We get to do a recap of Lethbridge Pride Fest and what happened for Pride. Oh, and let's turn that sound off.
You know you do that every time.
I think I do.
You would know by now.
Well, I try.
Volume down and then check.
Okay. There we go. I'm shared.
So am I.
So happy to be on Sapa Speaks again.
We're so glad to have you back.
So I know we got some green screen thing happening with this. I just wanted to give a special shout out to you, Becca, for making me this beautiful mask. It is so cool. It's got the little nose guard. It gives me a Mortal Kombat vibe.
Yes.
But I would be like Scorpion or Sub-Zero with like rainbow powers, you know? So I'm going to take that off. We have cohorted, even though you're coughing. I trust you. She has no fever.
Allergies suck.
But anyway, thank you for this beautiful
You are
mask.
most welcome.
I just want to talk about it for 1 second.
Yeah?
Because you didn't just use like rainbow material. You sewed each silken fabric in its strip. It's very nice. And because it's black, it doesn't show the concealer I put on my nose every day. And thank you. So I love it.
You're most welcome.
Becca is one talented seamstress. You came to the Pride pop-up photo shoot a week and a half ago, was it now?
Yeah.
With some beautiful rainbow capes.
Yeah.
Regal. Yeah, it was so fun to pose in those.
They were fun to design and then to sew. I mean, there was a fair bit of swearing involved on certain parts, but
But again, you attach the materials separately.
because I couldn't find good rainbow material. I wanted those nice, big, bold, thick lines, and they just don't make that. So I made my own fabric.
Well, you can see the photos of the three of us on Lethbridge Facebook page. We've been posting some of the pictures. We'll post more as this time progresses. But the photos were done by Photo Expressions and also Tanya Poloka Photography. But those specific ones of us was by Photo Expressions. So
Nice.
I saw you posted them on your
I did.
page. They're
Yeah.
very great. So
Yeah, I ended up, I woke my 14-year-old kid up. He was traveling from up north. He lives with his father. And I called him up and I'm like, hey, photo shoot, let's go. And I went and I picked him up. He was having a sleepover. He gets in the car and like he's standing in front of the like beautiful backdrop of, you had the high level bridge in the background, you had the pride letters. It was just beautiful. And he's standing there, he's holding a flag, and he's like, what's going on?
he was still waking up.
Yeah,
He's a teenager.
He's 14 years old. So that's the only way that I could get professional photos done with my 14-year-old kid is if he's not conscious. And they turned out great, but he's like 6 inches taller than me, and I didn't like it.
Aww.
Should have found your little like
Right?
tractor or something. Find a hole to sit him in.
So find a hole to dig a little hole, and I'm like, you need to be shorter than.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you had me back. We did do a show a few weeks ago about Pride Fest, and so now I did see your outline. Becca, great job. And so we will go through all the events. Oh, you did the event?
We do it together.
We do it together.
That's nice.
Because I'm only half a brain. I need my other half.
Well, I don't know. I'm grateful to be back and hope I can represent Lethbridge Pride Fest well tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
So what kind of events did we have?
Well,
for
we already
Pride
talked
Fest?
about the photo shoots, so.
But we'll just slightly recap on it as we go
Okay,
through.
yeah,
Is that okay?
totally. The virtual Pride dance was on Friday, June 19th, and that was hosted by the Taylor Equality Alliance.
Yeah.
Did you attend that?
Well, it was virtual, so we definitely watched DJ Rabbit play the music, and it was fabulous. Yeah, I mean, it was good. It's just we wish we weren't dancing on our own, dancing alone, you know.
Hopefully next year.
Next year for sure. But I thought it was a great team up, and everything was done. Class act, really great. So yeah.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
But again, people still said, "When's the dance?" And I'm like, "No, that was the dance."
Yeah, I guess everybody's just so used to everyone coming together in June, especially for that last week, the entire Pride week.
Totally.
So I missed it.
I know, me
missed
too.
wearing the purple.
Me too.
But then the pop-up.
Okay,
Photo shoot.
so the pop-up
Yeah.
photo shoot where I saw you both at, you brought those great capes and I posed with you and we had a nice little moment. You made those capes last year?
Mm-hmm.
They're fabulous.
Thank you.
They fit over the shoulder and then go down. They're not just a cape.
Yeah.
So they're actually kind of like a fitted cloak. You can hide yourself and then reveal yourself. It's like
Oh.
coming out of the closet as a pagan or a queer.
They call that the broom closet. If you're coming out as a pagan, you're coming out of the broom closet.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just recently came out of the broom closet.
On this
100%.
show.
On this show, back in, what was it, February?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you were on Sapa Speak, so it was kind of like you already outed yourself a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we did the Pride pop-up photo shoot, and I wanted people to understand this. Pride is political. Pride is a protest. There's a lot of things going on, and a lot of the Pride community did join the Black Lives Matter rally at City Hall, but this is just something that's been thrown out there, and we couldn't really do those type of things this year. We didn't get our sidewalk painted, so all we can do is be visible and try to come together and celebrate the hard work that we've gone through and the challenges that we go through every year. So I just want to say Pride is about coming together and celebrating once a year, and also being visible to show that it is still political.
Yeah.
But we had a nice photo shoot, and it was great to see families and people come out with their dogs and their gear. Some people didn't want to be photographed. There was this nice closeted couple who came who were scared to come over, and we got them to actually come get a photo, but just on their camera.
Aw.
And I mean, it's just that they felt that they could come out,
Yeah.
and I just want to say it is more than just a photo op or a photo shoot. It was a time to come together and just, it was nice to mingle with people in those photo shoot moments and in their cars. It was a hot day.
Yes, it was.
It was a nice day. So yeah, it was just really nice, and for the photographers to come, because all their gigs were canceled, like weddings and grads. So to have our great photographers, I'm going to give one more shout out, Expressions Photography and Tanya Ploka, to come out and photograph us and give them an honorarium, give them some showcasing of their work. It was really important for us to hire local, support, and also get that picture that has Lethbridge Pride in it, because we had the train bridge, the coolies. These things are unique to us. So the Pride pop-up photo shoot, I hope we do next year. Yeah.
That would be fun.
It's cute.
Yeah. No, it was really. How many people attended? Do you think? Because you were there all day.
Yes, I set up at 10 a.m., which is not my favorite thing. So hauling those letters in that weather, I got to give a shout out to Lane. It was great. But throughout the day, I mean, there was easily 100 people. So I got to see at least 100 friends and cohorts. Well, they weren't my cohorts, but see them,
Yeah.
Get
And
some-
be visible.
and be visible.
Yeah.
And you see, like, it was really sweet because the senior home was behind us, and they've been in lockdown for a long time, and they were watching, and some of them came out and had a photo with the letters.
that
It
was
was
so
adorable.
sweet.
This one lady, she goes, I remember this song, and it was like, I think it was Tainted Love. And she's like, I remember this song, and she's like about 80, and she came out and said, can I get a photo? It was so sweet.
I remember that.
Yeah, remember that?
You were playing with puppies.
So,
There were lots of puppies.
There was puppies, and Livia was not paying attention to anything else that was happening because there was dogs.
yeah.
That happens.
That's fair. It's fair. So I thought that was a really fun event to be able to kind of get together and mingle and sell some Pride merch. Thank you, Tyler Noski,
Yes.
representing all the Pride flags. It was very good. So pop-up was good.
Yeah. And then there was drag storytelling.
The drag storytelling was really great. Lethbridge Public Library has been so supportive of Pride, and this was all done virtually, but the stories they picked this year, the readings were great, the performances were great, and hopefully again we can do it in person next year. And I really want Chrissy Cox to go read a book, so
You should.
Yeah,
She should.
She should.
Yes.
I might know her.
Yeah. Pull some
No,
strings.
no, yeah. But I've never got to do the drag story time reading, so I think next year I got to jump in on that. Yeah. So that's again a great community effort, and we love books. We love the library, and they do great work. So we've got a great team up for all of us. Yeah.
Awesome. And then this past Monday on your show,
Yeah.
you announced all the Pride Fest awards.
Yeah, so again, it's tricky because we didn't get to honor all the Lethbridge Pride 2020 winners in person. So we did it on air on You Asked For It, my radio show on Jess FM here. And you can go back and watch that on the page to see all the winners. We've listed them in the comments. Again, Tyler did a great job. But we really want to say, what we want to do is honor the people who were really fabulous in 2019 to 2020 and give them those awards. They were nominated. We read why they were nominated so people can understand what they do in the community to get this award. But we will be giving it to them in person next year at the Pride Awards so they can have that acknowledgement in person. And then we'll go on to the 2021 winners. So everyone's gonna get their moment because,
Yes.
validation is really important. a validation in a friendship, a relationship, a community. I mean, not that it's all about validation, but it's nice to say, like, great job on this transcript, or great job on your show. You know, those little affirmations do mean a lot. So, yeah, we want to make sure that all the Pride 2020 award winners feel acknowledged, and yeah, so we're going to do a little profile of each of them on our page so they can, everyone can see what they did.
And those haven't been posted yet.
No.
They're going to be in sometime soon?
Well, I mean, seriously, it went from like Monday was that, and then Tuesday it was Canada Day, so it's just, you know, now we're here.
Yeah.
Some of us are here. So, yeah, but again, Pride does not end in June.
No.
Pride
all year long.
Pride is all year long. So we have some definite content to be posting and sharing pictures of all of us on our Instagram, posing at those letters and the award winners, and just pictures from all our events. We did go past the flag raising.
Oh, yep.
I do want to talk about the flag raising.
Yes.
We did that at City Hall, and normally I know you've attended in the past.
Yes.
But this was virtual.
I still watched it virtually. It was
There
fun.
you go.
Yeah.
It was still kind of a little bit hard to hear the speeches.
It
Yeah.
was.
To Jess TV. Okay. So, we're back on. I see us moving again. We're okay?
Yeah. Looks like we're still
we're
live.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
good.
So,
Okay.
so we did the flag raising, and there we go. We covered the
Yeah.
events.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I really enjoyed the fact that even though, because I know that we had talked a little bit about it, you know, leading up to June, and it's like, what are we going to do? Is the pandemic going to, you know, kind of calm down? Are we going to be able to meet? How can we meet? I know that you were wondering how Pride Fest was going to, and be flexible, and so I think that you guys did a really good job, and like huge shout out to you and the rest of the board for just kind of rolling with the punches and still providing that visibility and that way to connect for people.
Yeah, and I mean, it's about connecting and community for me, and for Pride Fest, it's important to let people know they're not alone, and there are other people out there, and you know, and even though it is, I see Pride as a protest and a movement, and I feel myself as an activist, and we had the progressive flag up and down Mayor McGrath with a very special message this year to really honor the trans, all the people of color and everyone in the spectrum of queer, the rainbow, and it's really for everybody to just to feel normal for a little bit.
Yeah.
And we are normal, but it's just
this is my normal.
Yeah, exactly, and feeling that. So it's just important to have visibility and just, I don't know, like Canada Day, how at the end of the Canada Day there was no fireworks in Lethbridge, even
It
though
was over by my place.
I saw some too. I went to the water tower and I was like spotting which backyards were doing it. So, but it just didn't have that climactic.
No.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I just usually after Saturday we have our dance and an after party, and it's so fun. So I had a little after party myself, but I made it COVID friendly. But of course, a little bit of criticism online there. But you know what? I had 41 people. It was trying to be
Still
cute.
under that 50.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I had all the food individually wrapped. And,
Oh, well,
and
that's
you know what's really cool? I got to employ and have a great photographer who's been hurt by not having all the weddings, a DJ whose events have been canceled, and a bouncer whose bar's been closed. So it was
Wow.
nice to be able to support some locals
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't always see that side of it.
Yeah.
But, and also, we've had a rough 2020 like we talked about, and people needed to put on some glitter, and we needed
Yes.
to dance,
Yeah.
and we just needed to have a little bit of fun. It's been since January, like New Year's Eve, since most people celebrated
Yeah.
and together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So finished up Pride, and I look forward to next year as a much bigger year.
Yeah. So we kind of wanted to ask you about like the beginning. What are your earliest memories? Like even before Pride Fest came together.
Okay.
Before that.
So if you've been around Lethbridge for a while, before there was a Pride Fest, there was dances monthly, except for in the summer by Gala. So that's whenever I saw the Gala Occasion, a newsletter that Dave Mabel made, one of the employees from the Herald, one of our earliest activists, and he put out this newsletter, and I found one, and it was like looking at the back of a dirty magazine. Even though there was nothing dirty about it, it gave me dates, times, and locations where gays met.
Nice.
So I was like, I need to meet some gays. I was 16. Not a great time to be like running around in the dark meeting gays. or maybe a great time, you know.
Again,
But
perspective.
But I mean, it was a long time ago. But I did find myself out at the Croatian Center, and I was underage. And I got in. So these are my first early memories in high school. It was very taboo to, you know, talk about gay back then or queer, and it definitely wasn't called queer back then. And I made it to a gala dance, and you know, I did get in a little bit underage, so it didn't have always the happiest consequences, and I'm not going to get into that stuff now. But I want to say when I became an adult and in my early 20s, I joined Gala, and the first thing I did is I sat at that door and I ID'd, so no other underage people got in.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't make some friends. I had to tell some people they got to come back next year. But if you didn't have ID, I didn't let you in because my experiences, and I don't blame the group, I blame individuals, and I put myself out there, and it wasn't a healthy time for me to do that. So I just made sure as Gala moved forward that we were always IDing, and that was a big learning curve for me. Because you know, when you're young, you think you know everything and you should be everywhere. And
I have a 14-year-old. He's at that point too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, but on a good point, I drove down a gravel road down 43rd, and when I thought I was like, where the hell are we going? And it gets to gravel, and I'm like this, and over a bridge, and I'm like, are we there yet? And it's like I see cornfields, and I'm like, are we gonna get murdered? And then I go and I find the Croatian Center, and then I see some rainbow balloons. I walk in. There's wonderful lesbian couples two-stepping, and I'm like, where am I? Am I in the Rocky Horror Picture Show? And I got measured up my inseam to buy some tickets for a draw, and it was, you know what? It was a whole new world. I felt like I entered the time warp, you know, or something, because that was my gay reference back then. It was a Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I walked into this gala dance, and I knew I wasn't alone. So those are my earliest memories of Gala.
That's a nice feeling not being alone.
Yeah, thank
Not
you.
realizing that.
Right.
So, yeah.
High school's a alienating time.
It is.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So how has Pride Fest changed over the years? I mean, we're talking, what are we at now?
12. Yeah. So
12
Pride
years.
Fest has changed a lot, because when we first started Pride Fest, again, the word queer wasn't really a word. You know, people weren't really familiar with drag queens. RuPaul wasn't on mainstream TV. We were putting drag queens out there in the daytime, and we were you know, supporting each other, and we used the word gay a lot, but we definitely realized very fast that wasn't progressive enough. So we definitely moved towards more of the queer and umbrella, and started really focusing events on everyone wants an event. Everyone's like, there's a lot of segments, there's a lot of colors in this rainbow, you know, so really trying to cater to, it's hard when you're trying to cater to everybody, you know, but really looking at marginalized groups over the years, definitely a focus on trans, and because of geographically where we are, indigenous in our area, and but people of color, but you know, showing more representation, the asexuals, trans, gay, lesbian, people who are allies and true allies and great allies, and it's just been a learning curve, you know, but just trying to be a lot more inclusive and not just, it used to be called gay pride.
Yeah.
Remember? Like, when you heard of pride, it was gay pride. Well, it's not, it's pride now.
Yeah.
So gay almost gave the idea of men.
Yeah.
So we always look for a diverse board, and if you would like to join the Pride board, September is our AGM, and we're always looking for new members, and you can fall in any spectrum. We just want some volunteers, representation, and input. So
Do you accept allies on your board?
we definitely accept allies, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, Catherine Cully is an ally, and she's on the board, and yeah, we definitely, over the years, we have many allies on the board. So
Because I know that I've been, for many years, have looked at the board and I'm like, I want to be a part of that, but at the same time, as an ally, and I'm like, do I want to take a seat for other people and you know, have my voice be heard? Because as an ally, my job is to amplify, you know, the lesbians, the bisexuals, the transgendered, the asexuals, the aromantics. I want to amplify their voice. I don't want my voice to be heard. So I've always kind of like, I've looked at the AGM and I'm like, I've almost attended one or two, and I'm like, I want to support and how can I best support and use my voice to support Pride Fest.
That's a very excellent point. So thank you for bringing that up. And I want to say your voice definitely can be heard, because guess what? You're out there raising children.
Mm-hmm.
You're out there doing another organization. Your voice is heard, and your voice is important, because and I love that you're saying you're there to amplify, and I love that. And if you come to an AGM and you decide you want to join the board, you don't have to be treasurer or president or vice or secretary. You can be a member at large and just really be part of that conversation, because we're always like reading the comments, looking at the suggestions, and bouncing off what we can do to make it better. So yeah.
So you said September is the AGM.
September is the AGM. It'll be posted on the page. It's open to everybody. It gets a little boring, so you have to do a year-end review, and that means financials. So just stick past that. And trust me, one time a college student came and did a video on Lethbridge Pride Fest, and they came and videoed what a meeting was like. But they found it so boring. They said, "Can we get some rainbows?" So we literally started laying out rainbows and looking at rainbows, and I was like, people are gonna think we get together and look at rainbows. I mean, people probably think SAPA gets together, gets a big black cauldron, and throws some Newt in and stirs it, with Shakespearean quotes. So, it's not. There's actual organization that goes into this. And again, remember, we're nonprofit like you, and it takes fundraising. It's tricky, and it's.
There's a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You're wearing a lot of hats. Some of them are
Yeah.
rainbow top hats, some are pointy black ones.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of hats to wear to put on these organizations. So,
I
you
do
got
just want to
comments?
take a stop. We have just a lot of people that are kind of tuning in, saying hello. We've got Andrea, and Ash is watching. We've got Breathin' Heathen. Shauna's finally tuning in live.
Hi, Shauna.
She always misses it and comes
Yes.
back later and watches it. So thanks, Shauna, for tuning in. If you do have any comments or questions for Levi, drop them in the comments. I do have my phone open in front of me, and we are watching the comments. We do want the show to be interactive. We are sitting here with Levi Cox, who is Vice President now
Vice President.
of the Lethbridge Pride Fest, and we're just kind of doing a recap of Pride Month and Pride Fest has done. You can tune in justfm.ca, Jess FM on Facebook, and Jess TV on YouTube,
As well as Twitch.
as well as Twitch.
Twitch is new.
Twitch is not new. We are new on Twitch.
Yes, we are new on Twitch.
Yes.
Okay, so now if you've been listening to this and you're like, I want SAPA information, and you're just hear us running in circles, I'm going to throw the table onto you so we can get SAPA and the Pagan Society joined into Pride Fest, and we can understand maybe why we're all connected. And so we have, I want to say again, Pride is not just 1 month a year. Pride is all year long, and activism takes you to be active in it. And just awareness. So
Yeah.
SAPA, we just finished up our Pride events. When would your event be? What is happening with you guys, and what's planned for next year? How do you guys fit into Pride? Let's bring some of that into that dialogue.
Which question do you want us to answer
Okay,
first?
so first is, when is your event? I'm going to let you talk.
Okay, well, we were originally planning to have it on July 4th, which would have been this Saturday.
Okay.
Yes, and the reason why, because for those who have attended our Pride or our Pagan Fest in the past, it's always been on Beltane or on May Day, and we wanted to honor and acknowledge the Sabbath.
What is that? May Day.
May Day is one of the Sabbats of the year that we mark I believe it's the birth of the sun. And it's welcoming the sun god back, and depending on which tradition you follow depends on the ideology, mythology behind it. So we got together previous years to celebrate the return of the sun and warmth and growing season and all that. And the last couple of years, well, we live in southern Alberta, the weather's shit.
Yeah.
But you did go to the
So-
river bottom and celebrate. I saw that on your
We
page,
did.
right?
That, I believe, was for anybody
Wasn't that the...
afterwards.
Okay.
We have a lot
Yes,
of festivals.
we do.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
do. We
yeah.
have
Eight
over
the course of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, but our big one was always on Beltane
Yes.
to signify that rebirth. However, as Becca has said, Beltane has kind of been shit weather lately. However, this year was beautiful, so
Of
like
course.
ironic. So this year we had decided that we were actually going to hold it on.
July the 4th, which would have coincided a week after Pride in the Park.
Perfect.
Yeah,
So,
and then we got hit with the pandemic.
yeah.
So we have had discussions about whether or not we're going to do something very similar with Pride Fest and do something virtual and online. However, with all of the changes that we've had in the pandemic and taking that step back and reflecting on where we want to go and what our goals are for the association, we decided that this year for a Pagan Fest, we weren't going to do anything, and we were really going to focus on what we can do for 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's not true. You're not doing anything because, well, for one, having it on July 4th is just awesome because that's America's holiday and you guys are so not that ideology.
Yeah.
Or I wish it was the ideology we wish America was, but it doesn't seem like it lately.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great rebuttal to America, that some of the attitudes coming through there. There's great attitudes, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So you're not, because you still have coffee nights, you've still been getting together.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Sips and spells.
Yeah, and you're doing this show weekly, so you are giving a voice and visibility to the community. So you are doing something.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Well, I'm proud of you.
As much as we can.
Yeah.
And you should be proud of yourselves for keeping this going in a life. 'Cause it's not always easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't always get those accolades, right? You have to do some pagan awards.
Well,
Goals for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did just recently do the cauldron clap things. So
Yeah.
What's a cauldron clap?
It's our form of recognition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so people can submit them to the SAPA official page and then we read them online.
Yeah.
Or well, we read them on the show.
Yeah,
So.
and that's just a way of, if we do have community members or even board members that are kind of going above and beyond, we want to recognize that. We want to recognize it on air. We want to be able to recognize it on our board meetings so that it's in our minutes, so that it never goes away. So
Immortalize yourself in our minutes.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, because nobody ever reads them. Everybody
Yeah.
reads the minutes. Minutes are like riveting read. So yeah, we've called them cauldron claps, and that's just something that we can do to keep that attitude of gratitude going on almost on a daily basis, a weekly basis, even a monthly basis if we're doing it in our board meetings. Maybe something larger in the future, such as the martini nights that you have.
There you
fireworks.
go. Well, and also I know that we worked together, like talking about guidance and stuff about, because I think SAPA is a lot like Pride Fest. You are giving visibility to a group, and I think it's really amazing. And I know that you came to our meetings and saw what we were doing, and I think you've done a great job.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
I always say when someone says I'm proud of you, I always take that back, and it doesn't matter if I'm proud of you. What's that? It's an opinion.
Yeah.
You should be proud of yourselves, and I think that's so important to remember that. And
Yeah.
I'm just so proud of Pride Fest. You should be proud of yourselves. You're doing a good job.
Well, thank you.
So next year you'll try and keep with that week in July, the first week
I
of
think
July.
so.
I think so, because
Yeah.
the weather should be settled down by then,
Yeah.
and we should be able to have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Yeah.
It just happened that this year it would have coincided with the full moon as well.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's why July 4th.
Yeah.
It would
Would've
have been the
been very
Bucklands,
good.
so
Yeah.
Nature's fireworks, a big full moon in the sky.
nothing better.
Yeah.
Nothing better.
So, can I just like last time we met? I just want to bring this up.
What?
This. Last time we came on the show,
I was worried that was going to go someplace different.
so last couple weeks ago I was on the show, and Rebecca knows what's going on in my life. A lot of you know what's going on in my life, and and we all have a life and things going on. But you gave me these little vials, and I just really don't know what to do with them or what I'm supposed to do. Because I watch your show. I know what you're kind of about, but I don't really fully get it. And I'm into getting my house saged. I'm into astrology. What do you got here for me, Becca?
Those are 2 incense blends that I make quite frequently and use myself. And one is to purify any negative energy in your space, and the other one is to cleanse, which also shoes the negative.
So you made me these lovely vials. I didn't know what I was supposed to do with them, but I think you're going to come over to my house. Is that the deal?
Yeah, on Monday I believe it is.
Yeah.
So Monday I'm going to have these amazing humans in my home, and they're going to help me. What are we going to do?
We're going to cleanse your house. It's very much like saging.
Oh, I thought you meant like cleanse. Like I had a party on the weekend, like mopping and sweeping. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
That's where you get to
No,
use
I'm
your
out.
water.
Yeah, I'll use my moon water for that. So you're gonna come help me cleanse my
Yes.
home on Monday.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that. I'm
Yeah.
so grateful for you two. Thank you.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
Well, we're going to walk your entire building
Oh, gosh.
with, yeah, I know.
Mhm.
So we're gonna have to hash out the details later. But we're gonna walk your entire building, starting in the basement and working up.
Okay.
And I'm gonna bring my sensor because it is this big monstrosity made out of brass. And we're gonna be bringing a charcoal briquette, a full one. I usually only use a quarter when I do it at my house.
If I take a whole one.
It might take 2.
Okay.
And we're just going to put the incense on top, and then it'll smoke, and we'll go through and shoot all the negative energies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And then it'll have a nice, light, sweet scent after.
So if other people are interested in this kind of cleansing that we're going to do through my building and home, can they contact you about that?
They sure can.
Yeah?
I've been doing this type of thing for, how long have I been practicing? Like 25 years.
Wow.
It's actually one of these, I think it was the second thing I learned in the craft.
Wow.
Is how to cleanse my space. And then discovered I had a knack for making incense.
I love it. So is this kind of like staging?
Yes, it's the premise is the same, it's just a different method.
We
Okay.
usually refer to it as smoke cleansing, just to be respectful of the indigenous culture who uses the term saging, and
Which I
as
love and I have used in my home.
Yeah.
And I will continue to use when that becomes available
Yeah.
to me. And so yeah, that's not replacing, but adding on.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I do want to say that we have Shauna in the comments saying shooing is too gentle for what you want to do to the negative energy. So we were just trying to be diplomatic here on the show, but yes, you definitely want to be a little bit more forceful instead of just shoo. You want to almost boot it out.
Yeah.
So
I was told that if I had blacked out or lost consciousness, that I'm more susceptible to things clinging to me. And because of my circumstances, yes, I was definitely without consciousness. And so if we need to boot something, who was that?
that was Shauna.
Shauna, if I need to boot something out of here, I am ready to boot it out, because if you're clinging to this little bright soul, I need you gone. So
And smoke cleansing works just for people as well. It's not just for spaces.
So we're gonna do.
We're gonna do the whole thing. We're
Yeah.
all gonna get smoke cleansed on Monday before we do
Yeah.
Okay.
the building.
Okay.
So
So yeah. So I even heard if you black out drunk and you lose consciousness, it's still bad.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that through COVID, so we need to do this boot and shoot
Yep.
thing.
yep.
I'm excited.
I like that.
True.
Still a lot more gentle than what I usually do.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
No, I like the comments, the feedback, and I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah,
So
it'll be fun.
cool. I think so too.
I'm looking forward to seeing Cleo and Isis.
My cats will probably follow us around and think we're weirdos. So, and also, do you get like readings of places and energies and buildings?
Sometimes.
So, because I've had someone come in and give me some readings. An avid watcher of Jess FM who said there was 2 spirits living in my building.
I wouldn't be surprised. You do live in a historic building.
Mm-hmm.
She gave the opportunity to leave or stay because they're not
Malicious.
malicious, but they're welcome to stay. But if they want to move on, she let them have that option, and actually got some great photos of some orbs and some ghosts in some pictures. I mean, people in pictures that weren't there in the pictures, and then they were in the pictures. So it was interesting. So you're gonna see some stuff you haven't seen. I told her there was a vortex in there and all that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already know that.
Right? So
I work down the street at Purple Hippo.
so you can tell
Yeah.
there's some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the
I'm
metaphysical cleansing, as it were.
Yeah.
excited. So you can contact Sapa if you want this done. But I do think just like real life, it's not ghost busting, but real life metaphysical. I hope you come up with a fee for that, because we need to make some income after COVID.
Well, see, one of my first teacher taught me that you don't accept money. Like and I know right now there's 2 schools. We were actually talking about this in Slice earlier. And there's the old school where these are your gifts, you don't charge for them, but you could take a donation or a gift.
Okay.
And then there's the newer school, which is, well, it's my time, my energy, my experience, so I'm going to charge a fee.
Yeah.
I am in the old school. I don't really accept payment. I mean, if I'm going out of town, gas money would be appreciated, just saying. But I don't charge for my service, whether it be cleansing or tarot reading or any form of divination.
That is a really hard conversation, and we're talking business and social work and community. Like I don't even there's a thing, right? But it is hard because our time is valuable.
Mhm.
So we do need to be compensated for our time, because all of a sudden you're getting 8 calls a week and you have no time for your partner, and every time you're off work you're using your time, your energy. I mean, there does need to be payment, but that's a tricky one to work out.
Well, and when me and Becca were talking about it earlier this afternoon, I was saying, if you're not charging, you can say no.
Yeah.
Whereas
true.
if people are paying you for a service, it's a little harder to say no because that's your livelihood.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, I'm donating my time to you, and I'm putting up my boundaries and saying I'm not donating this much time, or I'm not going to donate on a Sunday, or you
Right.
know, like you can put your boundaries up. So and it's easier to say no when you're not
Getting
using
paid.
that as your
Yeah.
livelihood.
Yeah.
The services I give, even though they're more than just hairdressing, it does come down to my time and
Yeah.
my experience, and I do now look at it more of charging for my time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm trying to look at, as more like, what's my time worth? And
Yeah.
it's hard.
And I mean, it all depends on the person too.
Canada says it's $15 an hour.
Minimum.
Okay, then I made out like a bandit a few years ago because I did a
I wasn't
reading for a
agreeing.
person, and as payment, and it was a really great reading. It was
Yeah.
a fairly standard hour reading,
Yeah.
and he took me up to the water tower, which I had never been, and like the bill was $130 for the two of us.
Perfect.
So,
Perfect.
and I mean, great conversation. And he liked the readings.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Awesome.
And that's a great way to show gratitude, right?
Yeah, and I've had other people who they're poor, they just need some guidance, and they buy me a coffee. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
I'm just here to help.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm happy you're here to help me, and I love it. I'll help you back. How's that work?
Okay.
Well, I mean, you did make the hair beautiful just a little while ago.
I haven't got my hands on yours yet, Becca.
No, you're gonna have to play with it later. 'Cause
Eventually,
holy crap.
it'll happen.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to our topics.
Yeah.
Any more comments before we go into our topics?
No other comments. Shauna's just saying boot away.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So goals for Pride Fest. What's coming in the future for Pride Fest?
Well, we didn't get to do our trans march. We didn't get to do our crosswalks. So there are certain things that we did not get to have happen this year. So next year we just gotta go full force. We didn't get to have our fundraisers, our drag shows. So we're gonna continue with that, but we're really gonna put a bigger focus, even though it's been building anyway, but more focus on inclusivity of everyone. And that's why, again, I'll promote that AGM. If you want your voice heard, or there's changes that need to be made, we need you to come not just 1 month, but every month for 12 months and join our board. It does take commitment. You know that. It's not just.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have some people who can spout off comments or critiques on you guys once in a while, and then you're like, come to one of our events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
I mean, we're always accepting feedback, and we take that feedback, and any feedback I get as an individual, I always bring back to the larger
Board.
group, the board, and say, this is the feedback that I got. How do we want to tackle this?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, those critiques, the you should haves.
Right.
Join the board, and then you can take some of the responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
So-
so I want to say same thing. I want you to. We will listen to the comments. We hear the emails. We read the emails, and we do address them. But you got to put. You can't just say you're a good ally or Black Lives Matter, or you need to actually advocate it and put it into action. So we're into action right now, and we want to see action. So come and activate our group. We want to see you there. And same with you. It's like, you want to come, then come. Then if you want to have us understand better, then.
Well, and my son,
And
who
I
was-
just, yeah. So I don't mean just that. I mean anyone. We're looking for. We take your feedback. We can discuss it, but we need help,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that we want to make sure that voices and communities are heard. It means a lot to us, and we want to be relevant in today's conversation. And that's how you're going to survive as a board or a business that's changing. And so I want to say we just want to be more inclusive and have everyone feel represented. And that's a big task.
Mhm.
Needs many, many hands.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So, some fun topics.
Fun topics.
Fun topics.
Finally, we get to have fun.
Hey, we've had a
Because
lot of fun.
I'm
up to this
teasing.
point was like pulling teeth.
I'm teasing. We've had a lot of fun already.
So, most recent movie watched with a rainbow type thing.
Oh my gosh, I watched a really bad one. I watched Adam and Steve. Adam and Steve. It's like it was like. Do you remember that? It was like.
Back when we were in high school.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
it's probably 99, 98. Like, well, maybe it's an old one, but it was Parker Posey's in it, and it was this gay romance, and it was like I was like I just wanted to watch something cheesy and fun, so I watched Adam and Steve, and it was a good throwback to what queer culture used to be before it was as PC as it is now.
Yeah.
So that's what I watched recently. I did also watch Transamerica with Felicity Huffman. Is that her name? Yeah, she was in that college scandal, and seeing her name in the news all the time, I was like, I never watched Transamerica, and I actually went back and watched it, and it was actually really, really. Also, again, it's interesting to watch these movies even from 8 years ago. They're very much a time capsule of what was going on then. But Transamerica, I would definitely watch. And Felicity Huffman, I think she had to spend some time in jail after that. Yeah, so I watched that movie and I thought that was very educational. But again, it's compared to even where that conversation in that movie was to where we are now is very different, because it felt like trans in America was on an uphill swing with Obama and healthcare and rights, and now like I don't want to get too political, but the current regime, I don't like to say the name, is taking away those rights and medical. In June. On the 4th anniversary of Pulse. It was just all crap. So I thought that was a good movie to watch. So, and I hadn't seen it. So.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Do you have a favorite one?
A favorite queer movie?
Yes. Because I know I have a couple favorites.
Oh my gosh, mine are a little offbeat. Is that okay? Yeah, I guess it's whatever, right?
Yeah,
I
go
mean,
for it.
I'm not going to say Wizard of Oz, but some of my favorite queer movies are going to be the John Waters series. So I'm going to say John Waters Hairspray. I want to say Pink Flamingos, but there's some things now that I watch that I'm very uncomfortable with. I won't go into what it was, but when I was younger, I was just fascinated by the film. But there's also one called Female Trouble, which I love, by John Waters, and stars Divine, very prolific drag queen, and her, like in Polyester, these movies, Female Trouble, Polyester, Multiple Maniacs, Hairspray. I love these movies growing up, and then Divine has a music career, and Divine was who Ursula is based on in Little Mermaid.
Right.
So
I knew that.
so
I
she's
did know
drawing
that.
us as drag queen Divine. So I love those John Waters movies. Oh, and without Divine, because she passed away, Serial Mom, which I love. So those are queer movies to me, even though all the characters are not gay. There's queer characters in them.
And not gonna lie, I haven't heard of half of those. Those
Yeah.
are going on a list for me to check out.
We might have to do a movie night.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and also Crybaby is also by John Waters.
Oh.
Again, it's not quite
Johnny
queer,
Depp.
but it's campy enough. Why, Crybaby? Why? Heat Lightning is sexy. It's good. It's a good show. So those are some of my favorite queer movies. Just Google John Waters. Anything he's done is queer content.
Very cool. Very cool. Most recent series.
Well, of course, everyone's watching RuPaul's Drag Race, so I'm watching All Star Season 5. I just finished Season 12. And tonight, after the show, guess what I'm watching? Canada's Next Drag Race.
Doesn't that air today?
It airs tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, so I got some friends after the show who just moved to Lethbridge. We're going to watch it. But one queer series I've been watching and I thought was a really fun little tidbit. If you have Netflix, it's a really great show. It crosses all boundaries and genres. And if you're a fan of the 80s, here I brought my little Shadow Weaver, one of my favorite pop culture witches, with me tonight. Shadow Weaver is hanging on that tarot deck. But She-Ra Season 5 is out, and it's got some major queer content.
Yes.
Don't spoil it for me, Becca. You finished it. But yeah, if you haven't seen She-Ra, it's not like the 1980s. Everyone's a Barbie doll, which we loved at the time.
Yeah, I was Loki.
Loki. Oh yeah, Loki and Lookie.
Loki.
Yeah, but Loki's nice. So if you're a fan of the She-Ra TV series in the 80s, the new one is quite different.
Yes.
It's very diverse in, which I love, body types. It's not as hypersexualized, but then it is kind of sexy because it's getting sexy. There are some queer stuff happening going on, and some all sorts of romances. Bo's dads are gay.
Yes.
It's so cute.
It's adorable.
It's adorable.
Oh my God.
So if you haven't checked out She-Ra, it's on Season 5. You're gonna love it.
It's
It's very good.
it's a refreshing retake of. So
So my favorite, queer series right now is She-Ra.
And I'll keep my mouth shut. So we should probably do the announcements, eh?
Sure.
It's just announcements.
And then we'll do the last fun thing we
Oh
have.
yeah. We didn't give Levi a heads up on what we were
No.
going to throw at him, so this could be fun.
Okay,
Well, it's only fair play because he threw.
I did throw stuff at you.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, nah.
All right, so announcements. Our birthday club that we started
Yes.
has gotten off to a roaring start.
Okay.
We got so many people, hopping in there. And we're going to do a shout out tonight.
Randy Williams is turning. Randy's Williams' birthday is tomorrow.
Yes.
We don't know how old she is.
Hi, Randy. I don't know you, but happy birthday.
We went to school with her long ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Randy Williams, we went to school together. Happy birthday.
Yeah. And then, are we going to announce the Nerdy Thursday for the 16th?
What's a Nerdy Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're starting a new segment called Nerdy Thursday.
Yeah.
And it's going to be kind of like a book club and kind of
Educational.
educational infotainment.
Yes.
I believe is what it's
Yeah.
called.
I love
falls under.
that.
Yeah.
Right?
I love all these little names.
It's so much fun to play.
Infotainment.
And we're going to be focusing, and this might turn into a series because it's a fairly broad topic. We're going to start on divination.
Yes.
So I think we're going to do an overview. That's kind of what the show's looking like so far. And then depending on how we're feeling and how you guys enjoy it, we might dive into a little more targeted
Divinations.
shows,
Yeah.
divinations in the future.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to be on July 16th.
Like who you come from? Or
Divinations with like tarot cards.
Tarot,
Okay.
runes, I Ching, oracles,
wow.
dominoes,
Yeah.
tea.
Tea leaf, yeah.
Apparently playing cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's all kinds,
Oh,
and we're
yeah.
going to be touching.
Palm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Palm reading.
Palm reading.
So we're going to be touching on that on July 16th, which is in about 2 weeks. So we're going to kind of give a history of divination and how it started and what kinds there are and that kind of
What we
thing.
like
So it
to
should be
do
kind of
and
fun.
go
And
from there.
That's
Yeah.
a new segment on your show.
It's going to be, yeah.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
I think we're getting for every third Thursday.
something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We'll see. Might just be whenever. Hey, I want to talk about divination tonight, so we do.
Yep.
Cool.
And then we have our sip and spell tomorrow night.
Yes.
Tomorrow night, guys. That's going to be on Zoom, and it's going to be from 6 until 8. So make sure you go to the SAPA official page, find the event, click that you're going, then you'll get the codes, which will come out about an hour before we actually go live with that.
Yep.
And everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
So
I
Yeah.
love that. See, you are doing lots to unite a community.
We're trying.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And I mean, I love the sips and spells. It's very casual. You show up with a glass or bottle of wine, and it's just, conversation. And if you are kind of new to the community, you're kind of afraid to come out and meet new people, it's really just casual.
yeah,
Get
it's
to know
really
the
casual.
kind of, yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you have any questions, you can always
Yeah.
ask. We've had anywhere from 3 to, what was that?
10?
10 people at
10
once.
people.
So, I
one
mean,
day. Yeah.
if you have questions, come.
That was
ask.
the week that Livia lost her wine bottle.
Yes. Yes, it was great.
Yeah. It was very sad.
Did
A
you
whole
break
lot.
it?
No, it was
No,
just
she broke her
gone.
previous glass, though.
Oh, yeah, okay, week 4, and you're finally calling me out on the fact that I have no
Opportunity
glass.
finally knocked. I answered the door.
No, I put it down, and it just went away, and I couldn't find it. And I was like, I had my husband looking for it, and I went and get another wine bottle, but yeah, I couldn't find it. Found it later. I put it somewhere safe.
Oh my gosh.
Well, at least it was safe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so that's all of our announcements. That's what we're doing in the next little while.
yeah.
So, fun time.
Okay.
Canada Trivia.
Canada Trivia? That's what we're doing now?
Yes.
Let's do it. Canada
Okay.
Trivia.
So if you're watching and
Or listening.
Jump into the comments if you know the answer. We will kind of try and take a pause
Between?
Okay,
but-
try and be on this, guys. Be live.
Yeah.
We all got a lot of time here, and we got some trivia. I see that's a big page.
But this is primarily for Levi to answer.
Oh shit! I thought it was for the audience.
Oh no, we're throwing the questions at you. The audience
Yeah.
can jump in if they
Okay,
want
let's
to.
see what I know
Plus,
about
there's
Canada.
also a wonderful
Oh.
minute delay
Yes.
between when you hit enter and when we actually see it. So we're still working on how we can play trivia with the audience, but we'll figure it out
For
eventually.
now, we're throwing you under the bus.
Here I go.
Okay. We'll start you off with an easy one.
Okay.
At least I think it's
Oh
easy.
my gosh.
Okay, which Canadian city is considered Hollywood North?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna say Toronto.
It's not Toronto. It's Vancouver.
Is that north? I feel like, okay, that's embarrassing. But I know there's a lot of films filmed in Vancouver, but I actually thought north was Toronto, so.
Yeah, the city is second in TV production and third for feature film in North America, behind Los Angeles and New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know a lot of great movies I love have been filmed there, like the X-Men and.
Also, this one should be easy.
Oh gosh.
This one should be easy.
Okay.
Which Canadian fast food chain first opened in Hamilton in 1964?
Oh my gosh, there's two I want to say. I'm just gonna say, because you say Canadian, I'm gonna say Tim Hortons.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But I also heard Taco Time was Canadian, so I was like,
I haven't heard that.
I heard Taco Time might have originated in Lethbridge. I gotta research that.
Really?
Like literally.
I think so.
Like I think it's a real thing.
That does sound familiar.
Really?
Right?
Yeah.
Like Taco Time, and like, it's we're not even by the border.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Crazy. All right. How well do you know the Canadian flag?
It's two beautiful colors.
How many points are on the Canadian flag?
How many?
Points on the maple leaf?
Oh shit. Are we talking just the leaf, no stem?
No stem.
No, just
50.
the leaf part. Kind of close. It's 11. All right. I'm not reading all of them.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's good. It's good.
The fun ones. Okay. This is a fun one. 85% of the world's supply of what comes from Canada?
85% of what? Percentage of?
85% of the world's supply of what comes from Canada? So what do we produce 85% of the world?
Oh
world
my
consumes?
gosh, I would really love to say it was fresh water, but I don't think we spread our water out that far. So what do we
See, and I was the one that printed this off, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, what is it? I don't even know.
I know we produce asbestos, or used to, but that's not it either. So
It's something you eat.
I'm gonna say wheat.
Maple syrup.
Oh shit.
Oh jeez, of course.
Maple leaf, maple syrup.
Okay, no, I get it. I just didn't think people ate that much of it, but I guess we're just the main producers of it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
the main producers
Okay.
of it. How many time zones are in Canada?
Four.
I'm gonna say. Oh jeez. I'm getting all these wrong. I'm gonna say 3.
There's actually 6.
Damn it.
I meant 3 times 2.
From west to east, there's the Pacific Mountain, which we're in, Central, Eastern Atlantic, and Newfoundland.
Oh, right. Newfoundland has that one.
Yeah, they're like, And then last one.
Okay.
This one's gonna be a little tough because I didn't know it.
Oh come on, you got more than just that. We got a minute.
Oh no.
We got 4 minutes. Give us a couple more.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
no, we have one more question. After
Okay.
that. That's not on here. So only one province is officially bilingual. Which one?
Officially?
Officially.
One province?
One province, officially bilingual.
Oh, Quebec? It's not, oh, hang on. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Do we want to narrow it down a little bit?
It is to the east
Is it?
of us.
We're in Alberta. That does not narrow it down.
Okay.
It's one of the Atlantic provinces.
Listeners, do we know which province is bilingual officially?
Before we give him the answer, how about we go to the last question that we
So we
have
can
and
let
see,
people
see if yes. So which province in Canada is officially bilingual?
Help me help people.
Yeah. And we have one final question for you.
Okay.
And as you know, I'm
Alright.
I like to toot my own horn a little bit, and I'm doing my practicum for counseling. So mental health is a huge thing for me. I try to advocate for mental health.
Same here. And
so
you know that.
what do you do for self-care?
Self-care for me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. You know what? To be honest, self-care for me is it's being creative. So I need to be creative. So for me, it is a lot of photography, and it's mostly selfies and action figures. Self-care is also for me is doing hair and giving to others. But it does fill my cup because I know I'm making others feel good. So when I give services to people, listen and touch and make them feel good, it does fill me up. But self-care truly for me is some alone time And self-care is a shower, a sauna, a workout, a bike ride, being creative with action figures and toys. And not everyone understands that, but that's important to me. So yesterday I was out seeing my family, which can be stressful in Raymond, Alberta for family day. And I went and saw my grandma in the old folks home. It's a retirement home with facility. And she had made a flower bed, so I brought out my RuPaul Barbie doll and a Canada flag and a pride flag, and I put her in a Wonder Woman costume, and I put her in my grandma's flower bed, and I photographed her with my grandma watching. And that's just she just like smiles as she sees me play with the doll, even at this age. And that's self-care for me, is taking something that's just completely for me, that makes me feel good, and it's about filling my own cup. And and it's not necessarily cool, it's not really popular, it doesn't make me money, but it reflects my time, my mental health. I don't know, is this good? Self-care?
Well, I mean, that's very deeply personal. So I mean, it's
Everyone's
absolutely
different.
the fact that you had, multiple answers. It shows that you actually, consider what self-care is and you partake in it.
Yeah.
And I have you on Snapchat, so I see all those photos.
Right.
Yeah,
I
see them on the Facebook
Right.
feeds.
I try to put it in my story because I try to be open about it, because sometimes people get different sometimes people just think I'm this guy who wears rainbows and smiles a lot, and then some people think that I'm this really cool hairdresser and business owner or successful man. But then there's people who realize I'm just a big kid and a big nerd, and I brought my
Shadow Weaver.
my Shadow Weaver action figure with me tonight. So, and self-care also for me, this is super weird, but I like to groom my cats. But they hate it, but I like it. I'm like, I'm gonna get all your mats out. So I do some mat care, and I'm gonna clip your toenails. But it's for me, it's a whole thing. They run away from me. I lure them back with treats, and I do it again. So
doesn't everyone do that with their cats?
you have to. So, but I know that when I'm in a good space, my cats are well taken care of. So when I notice them getting mats and their claws are hooking into blankets and towels in my chest, I'm like, I've been ignoring you and my mental health, so let's have a date.
We do have a couple people who are giving you
Answers for the bilingual?
Yeah, one person says New Brunswick, another person says Ontario. So why don't you take your choice? Which one?
New Brunswick, Ontario. New Brunswick, Ontario. Because I know less about New Brunswick, I'm going to say New Brunswick.
You would be correct.
Yes, thank you. Caller number.
That would be Chris Savard.
Comment number 666. Thank you so much for giving me that clue.
Yeah.
So what are the languages for New Brunswick?
French and English.
French and English.
Well, I don't know. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was going to be a trick question. It'd be like Métis or language or something.
Go ahead.
Well, we're kind of out of time.
Bad time.
Sadly.
I was going to say, that does bring us to the end of our show. So Levi, thank you for coming back and doing, part 2 and touching on, the Pride Month and what Pride Fest has done. I really enjoy, the time that we have together on the show. It's really amazing. And thank you, Becca, for being my co-host. We will be back next week. We will have another guest on, so watch our page for the announcement on who the guest is going to be. And also we might have a special announcement from Jose's Imports. I butchered the name of her store, but Jose's store has reopened, so I have sent over some questions, and Jose is going to answer our questions that we can provide a little bit of a shout out for her on air.
Because she has celebrated 27 years in Lethbridge now.
Wow.
Years since our store opened.
That's amazing.
So thank you all for tuning in.
Can I thank you both for having me?
No.
Thank you. Thank you, honestly. Thank you for having me, because I'm trying to fit my way into your world. You fit your way into my world, and I want to appreciate for being inclusive and spreading that pride umbrella with everyone. Thanks for having me and listening, and I'm sure we'll do this again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're a good time.
It's way too much fun.
Yeah. Tons of fun.
I'll have you back on my show when we have something going on too.
Okay, wonderful.
I hope they'll tell you what happens on Monday at my home cleansing.
Yes.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with cleaning or Lysol.
No.
Thank you.
All right. I just got a message from Jesse. He says that their TV will still be live as there's a problem with the network. So just a request to stay on table.
Request to stay on table.
Yeah, just stay here.
We're going to stay here for a moment, so you're not getting rid of us that quick.
No.
Um,
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. So we are still here for another minute. We're just killing some time while we get our technical shutdown times going. But yeah, we'll do a cleansing. You're gonna talk about it on your show on Thursday. I'll tune in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be listening long distance.
Be good.
Did you know you're all watching Jess FM and Jess TV? Jess FM and Jess TV is an unfiltered local radio station. No one is buying this content. No one is paying for us to say anything. It's all real and local, and we appreciate you watching and tuning in.
Yes.
And they've been playing some good movies on the Jess TV stuff.
Have they?
Yeah. And they had Avengers Endgame on there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Wow.
Nice.
And I was like watching it, and I was like, I'm actually just tuned in for like an hour and a half of Jess TV.
Nice.
So I usually
on
just watch
YouTube,
the live
right?
shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just
Yeah.
like, that's cool. Do you ever go back and watch your shows?
Oh, yeah.
No.
You
She
do?
doesn't, I do.
You do.
Yeah.
I do.
I can't.
Yeah.
I've got like really low self-esteem, so I try